What's up, co-reporters, and welcome back to my channel. I've got some very sad news involving former Teen Mom 2 child Jace Evans. Um, his custody situation looks like it might be in jeopardy now that he has run away from his mother, Barbara Evans's home. We also got to talk about how disgusting his egg donor, Jenelle Evans, has been behaving and how she might be to blame for this, and her dog-killing unemployed husband, who is currently facing criminal charges for allegedly abusing Jace, has been behaving disgustingly since this news came out as well. So, guys, this is not good. It really isn't good. Barbara is actually due in court in a couple of weeks to see whether or not they can make the arrangement with Jace permanent, meaning that he would be back in her custody because he currently is in the custody of CPS after Jenelle Evans, the degenerate, lost custody of him for the second time. But now that he has run away, things can get murky. He can potentially be removed from Barbara's care. Honestly, I'm so sad for him. It really feels like this child never had a chance, with Jenelle Evans as his mother and Andrew, what's his face, is his father, all the drama between Barbara and Jenelle his entire life, both of them screaming in his ears his entire life since he was a child, just growing up with all of that conflict and turmoil has been a lot. Then, of course, reality television and whatnot. It just has been a recipe for disaster. And unfortunately, this is what we're seeing play out now. So I do want to give a shout out to the Ashley's Reality Roundup because she is the one who is breaking the news about this story and gets into the details about how Jenelle could be potentially to blame for Jace continuing to run away. So apparently this happened not too long ago, late last week. And you can see that based on the way that Jenelle and David have been posting on social media on the 18th of November, which was just 2 days ago. So according to the Ashley, things were going relatively well for Jace over at Barbara's house until this incident happened. Sorry, let me just keep scrolling to find out when this happened. So basically, she's saying that when she saw these posts, that Jenelle and David were posting on social media, she started to get suspicious that something went down because it felt like they were gloating. So you'll see here that Jenelle posted Cardi B sticking her tongue out, doing the na 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 sort of thing. And one of the captions in the post that she shared said, "When the weapons formed against you aren't prospering." So typically, Jenelle deflects with Barbara, right? She says Barbara is to blame for everything going on in her life, blah, 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 so that kind of set off the alarm bells about that going on there. And so she also added her own caption, which says, "Hell yes, if only you knew." Honestly, though, just to think that she's posting this, "Hell yes, my child ran away. He continues to run away." It doesn't make any sense, right? But alas, David, her unemployed, dog-killing, and alleged child-abusing husband, also got in on the action on the same day, November 18th as well. And he posted something about "Where's Waldo," which we all know is that character in the books that you have to find him because he's hiding, basically. And so that is a shout out to Jace hiding, right, whenever he runs away from these homes. So he says, "Where's Waldo? Why is he already hiding? And I haven't even opened the cereal box yet." And then you see down in the likes, who likes it and who's laughing at it? None other than deadbeat Jenelle, the same woman who posted these photos on her Instagram praising David as he faces criminal charges for allegedly abusing her child. So there you go. This is what kind of set the alarm bells off for the Ashley. And she started talking to her sources about what could have went down here. What are they bragging about? And that's when they found out through a source. And I quote, "Cops have advised us in the neighborhood to keep an eye out for Jace. Apparently he's been gone for almost 2 days." But thankfully, Jace was found safe and sound on Sunday, about 48 hours after he had gone missing. So even though Jenelle lost custody of Jace for the second time, CPS is still obligated to keep her posted on his whereabouts and whatnot, just because she is, his egg donor after all. And so that's why she's in the loop on that. And she was being so braggy, cheeky yet secretive about it. And I do wonder how this is going to look on them, because CPS is currently actively investigating these two trolls, and they very well could permanently lose custody of Jace. So just because Jace ran away from Barbara, it doesn't mean that he necessarily will be placed in the care of David and Jenelle, especially considering the way that they've acted so poorly since they were stripped of his custody. You know what I mean? Now, apparently, according to the source, and I quote, Jace was dealing with a lot. He was aware that if he got into trouble, he wouldn't be able to stay at Barbara's, which makes you wonder why he would even do this, risk the possibility of going back to that house of horrors. They're saying that Jace, and this is where possible medical abuse comes into the picture, at least in my opinion anyway. According to the source, Jace still isn't able to get on his proper medication while he was at Barbara's house, because Jenelle has that power, because she technically, even though CPS suspended her custody, she still has that power to deny him access to medications. And we know David and Jenelle are currently pushing the whole medicine means nothing. They're the ones ruining everything, so we're not going to put him on proper medication. They made him quit cold turkey, and that's why when he was at Janelle's house, he started running away like crazy. And so I guess realizing that, Janelle's like, you know what? Why would I put him back on medication over at Barbara's when I can continue to keep him off medication and allow him to act up just the way that he's acting up at my place, even though it's not in his best interest, but at least I can be right, in doing that. And so that's basically what I imagine is the thought process behind that. And I just find that to be rather disgusting. But listen, CPS, they have all this information. They've got the big picture and everything. So they very well, at the end of this, in a couple of weeks, when they have the hearing about like his official custody situation, they very well could still say, you know what, his opinion matters. He's most likely going to tell them that he's happier at Barbara's place. So they could give her the custody again, complete custody, which means that Barbara would be able to get him back on his medications, get him to be able to have his therapy again, and that he would be less likely to run away. Or potentially CPS can try to look for a third party to place him with. But at his age and with his history, it's going to be rather challenging. When you think about it, how many people are going to be willing to open up their home to a troubled youth with a runaway problem? That's going to be rather difficult. Is military school a thing, or like a boarding school? Is that like a possibility that CPS can put him into to help him find structure and like routine in his life? Because I do think that ultimately could be in his best interest at this point. I think he's at that age where maybe this is exactly what he needs in order to get, a certain level of stability and discipline in his life. And I think at this point, it's time for men, like mentally stable men, an actual man, not David Eason. He's neither mentally stable, in my opinion, nor an actual man, but actual accomplished men who don't allegedly abuse women and children, and certainly don't kill 10-pound dogs, could help discipline Jace. I think at this point, it's not working. I'm sorry, it's not working. He's a boy who's about to become a man. He needs male guidance, proper male guidance, not degenerate male guidance. And so I would like to see him placed in some kind of like, military or something like that, boarding school sort of situation where, he can have a strong male figure in his life to help guide him in the right direction and teach him about discipline, routine, etc., etc. Again, this whole situation is just so sad. And I hope that this story is a cautionary tale to people to be very careful about who you have children with, because it's really unfair that certain children like Jace are given such an unfair start in life. It was such a long shot for him to be able to thrive just based on who his parents were. Jenelle and Andrew selfishly decided to have him. And now look, they were in no way, shape, or form equipped to raise a child and, allow him to live a good, flourishing, happy life. And I feel like everybody saw this coming, and it's just very sad. I think that Jace needs urgent help and structure in order to live a good life, because I do fear that he's going to have a life of, living on the streets or maybe being in and out of jail if this situation doesn't get corrected as soon as possible. And I think that this is, a really, really, really crucial and critical moment for CPS to take proper action. Barbara tried her best, and unfortunately, I'm not saying it's not good enough, but unfortunately, Jace seems to need something else. And you know what? At the end of the day, this could be great for Barbara as well if Jace is placed in some kind of boarding school or military place or something like that, because it allows her to live out her golden years as well. I tried, she could say, I tried, I stepped up. Now what? Now I can just go ahead and live my my golden years as he is being taken care of somewhere else. Honestly, I'm really disappointed and I'm really, really sad because everything was going so well up until now. It's the last couple of weeks, the last little stretch there for him to be fully pulled from the custody of Jenelle, and look what happens. But it's not his fault. He is being denied access to medication, which in my opinion is a form of medical abuse. And I really hope that CPS sees it as such as well, and that consequences are faced accordingly. Okay, guys, let me know what you think about all of this. Again, shout out to the Ashley's Reality Roundup for the story. And yeah, we'll be chatting in the comment section as usual. Bye, guys. Take care.